Okay. I understand your excuse. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjanam Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjanam Yamuna Tira Vanacharya Yamuna Tira Vanacharya Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjanam Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjanam Yamuna Tira Vanachariram Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Radha Kunja Vihari Jayam Vishnu Pada Paramahansa Virakacharya Parashata Shishima His Divine Grace Abhaja Vinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Maha Granta Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Gaur Premanande. All glories to assembly devotees. All glories to assembly devotees. All glories to assembly devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayan Mudirayed Nasta Paresha Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naisiki Shringvatang Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Redantaistohya Bhadrani Vidhunod Suritsatam Krishna Swadhamupagate Dharma Gyanad Bisaha Kalonastad Vishamesha Puranar Kwadunodtaha Mahagranta Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24, verses 24 and 25. The title of chapter is Chanting the Song Sung by Lord Shiva. Repeat after me. Tarhi Eva Sarasas Tasman Tarhi Eva Sarasas Tasman Tarhi Eva Sarasas Tasman Nishkramantam Sahagunam Nishkramantam Sahagnugam Nishkramantam Sahanugam Upajamanam Amara Upajamana Mamara. Because Sanskrit, like English, stay all together. Upajamana mamara pavaram vibudhanugahi pravaram vibudhanugahi tarheva sarasastasman Nishkramantam Sahanugam Upajamana Mamara Pavaram Vibudhanugahi Tarheva Sarasastasman Nishkramantam Sahanugam Upajamana Mamara Pavaram Vibudhanugahi. Devotes. Tarhieva Sarasastasman Nishkramantam Sahanugam Upajamana Mamara Pravaram Vibudhanugahi. Tarhieva Sarasastasman Nishkramantam Sahanugam Upajamana Mamara Pravaram Vibudhanugahi. Okay, this was the verse 24. I will read the 25 alone. Tapta Himanikaya Bham Shit Kantang Trilochanang Prasada Sumukham Viksha Pranemur Jata Kautukaha. Word by word. Tahi. In that very moment. Eva. Certainly. Sarasaha. From the water. Tasmat. Therefrom. Niskramantam. Coming out. Saha Anugam. Accompanied by great souls. Upagyamanam, glorified by the followers. Amara Pravadam, the chief of the demigods, a Buddha Anugayi, followed by his associates. Taptahema, Taptakanchana, mountain goat. Nikaya Abham, bodily features. Shit Kantang, blue throat. Trilochanang, with 3 eyes. Prasada, merciful. Sumukam, yes, beautiful face. Very, very beautiful face. Sumukam. Viksha, saying, Pranemuhu, offered obeisances. Jata, aroused. Kautukaha, being amazed by the situation. The translation from the Sanskrit for the English is this. The Prachetas were fortunate to see Lord Shiva, the chief of the demigods, emerging from the water with his associates. His bodily luster was just like molten gold. His throat was bluish, and he had 3 eyes, which looked very merciful upon his devotees. He was accompanied by many musicians who were glorifying him. As soon as the Prachetas saw Lord Shiva, they immediately offered their obeisances in great amazement and fell down at the lotus feet of the Lord. Okay, let's go repeat together. The Prachetas were fortunate to see Lord Shiva, the chief of the demigods, emerging from the water with his associates. His bodily luster was just like molten gold. His throat was bluish, and he had 3 eyes. Very interesting. Which looked very merciful upon his devotees. He was accompanied by many musicians who were glorifying him. As soon as the Prachetas saw Lord Shiva, they immediately offered their obeisances in great amazement and fell down at the lotus feet of the Lord. Purport by His Divine Grace, by Vinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. The word Vibhuddhanugaihi, the last word, indicates that Lord Shiva is always accompanied by the denizens of the higher planets known as Gandharvas and Kinnaras. Generally, the Gandharvas are the singers and Kinnaras the musicians. Very, very experts in the art of music. They are very expert in music and science, and Lord Shiva is worshipped by them constantly, like a great king. Like Lord Shiva is real. Is he? In pictures, Lord Shiva is generally painted white, but here we find that the color of his skin is not exactly white, but like molten gold. It's like Lord Chaitanya, like Srimati Radharani, very, very auspicious. Or a glowing yellowish color. Because Lord Shiva is always very, very merciful. His name is Ashutosha. Ashutosha means is very merciful, but stay angry very easy also. Among all the demigods, Lord Shiva can be pacified even by the lowest class of men, who need only offer him obeisances and leaves of a bio tree. Yes, Thus, his name is Ashutosha, which means that he is pleased very quickly. Generally, those who are very fond of material prosperity approach Lord Shiva for such benediction, like Vrikasura. The Lord, being very merciful, quickly awards all the blessings the devotee asks of him. The demons take advantage of this lenience and sometimes take benedictions from Lord Shiva, which can be very dangerous to others. For instance, Vrikasura took a benediction from Lord Shiva. Maharaja Anantatirtha told this history in the Sunday feast for Tamils. Vrikasura took a benediction from Lord Shiva by which he could kill everyone he touched on the head. Although Lord Shiva sometimes very liberally gives such benedictions to his devotees, the difficulty is that the demons, being very cunning, sometimes want to experiment improperly with such benedictions. For instance, after receiving his benediction, Vrikasura tried to touch the head of Lord Shiva. Devotees of Lord Vishnu, however, have no desire for such benedictions. And Lord Vishnu does not give his devotees benedictions which would cause disturbance of the whole world. Om Agyanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistan Staptan Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyan Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitnamne Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adigoda Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Tat Sat. Tarkiva Sarasastasman Niskramantan Sahanugan Upagyamana Mamara Pravaram Vibudhanugahi Taptahe Manikaya Bham Shit Kantan Trilochanam Prasada Sumukam Viksha Pranimur Jatakartukaha. The Prachetas were fortunate to see Lord Shiva, the chief of the demigods, emerging from the water with his associates. His bodily luster was jet like molten gold. His throat was bluish, and he had 3 eyes, which looked very mercifully upon his devotees. He was accompanied by musicians who were glorifying him. As soon as the Prachetas saw Lord Shiva, they immediately offered their obeisances in great amazement and fell down at the lotus feet of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thanks for coming to the Srimad Bhagavatam class. This chapter is very, very special. The meeting of the Prachetas, the sons of Prachinabharshat, and the great Lord Shiva. Today is also Jagadatri Puja. Jagadatri Puja means Durga Puja. This festival is predominantly observed in Bengal. Yeah, the Bengalis like this, where they worship Mother Durga in various forms at different times of the year. Mother Durga has hundreds of names according to the various pastimes, such as Durga for killing the demon Durg. Some of her famous names are Amber, Chandansi, Vaglamukhi, Kali, Jagadatri, etc. Okay, but today we will speak about the husband of Durga Devi, the husband of Parvati. Okay, I will start with the translation by Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur that is very similar. A quote, "At the moment they saw emerging from the lake the chief of the Devatas, beautiful Shiva, effulgent like a pile of melted golden, with blue throat, 3 eyes, and brilliant face, accompanied by his followers, while being glorified by the followers of the Devatas. With curiosity aroused, they offered respects." About this chapter, Vishnu Chakravarti says, in the 24th chapter, the Prachitas, sons of Prachinabarhi, the grandson of Prithu, received the prayers of Shiva. Okay, I think that this chapter is a great opportunity to glorify Lord Shiva. Because Lord Shiva is God. Lord Shiva is God, but Sri Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Edajan Sakala Pumsa, Krishna Stu Bhagavan Swayan. Krishna is Avatari, is the source of avatars. But Lord Shiva is the great avatar, Guna avatar of Lord Vishnu, of Lord Krishna. And the Vaishnavas can worship Lord Shiva in the mood of devotional service. Like Lord Shiva is a great Vaishnava, Vaishnavadana Shambhu, we can approach of Lord Shiva to ask your benedictions for we become devotees also. And Lord Shiva is very powerful and a very great personality. Some people have a little intelligence, will respect a great personality of Lord Shiva. Okay, this I bring Prabhupada explanations about Lord Shiva in Canto 4, Chapter 2, that is the Daksha Yagya. It's very famous best time between Lord Shiva and Daksha. And the main instruction of this pastime is Vaishnava Aparada, one of the most important instructions in Srimad Bhagavatam, for we advanced at the point of 10th canto, we get the darshan, we get the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Vaishnava Aparada is too much important to stay far away of this. Lord Shiva is described, quotation of Prabhupada, Lord Shiva is described here as Chara Guru, the spiritual master of all animate and inanimate objects. He is sometimes known as Bhutanata, which means the worshipable deity of the do he did. Bhuta is also sometimes taken to indicate the ghosts. Lord Shiva takes charge of reforming persons who are ghosts and demons, not to speak of others who are godly. Therefore, he is the spiritual master of everyone. But the do and demoniac and the highly learned Vaishnavas, it is also stated, Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu. This is a statement from the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Shambhu, Lord Shiva, is the greatest of all Vaishnavas. On one hand, he is the worshipable object of the demons, and on the other, he is the best of all Vaishnavas, or devotees. And he has a sampradaya called the Rudra Sampradaya. Lord Shiva is described here as the best of the gentle because he is not envious of anyone. He is equal to all living entities, and all other good qualities are present in his personality. The word Shiva means all auspicious. No one can be an enemy of Lord Shiva, like the Goswamis from Vrindavan. For he is so peaceful and renounced that he does not even construct a house for his residence, but lives underneath a tree, always detached from all worldly things. The personality of Lord Shiva symbolizes the best of gentleness. It's purport by first and second verse, Canto 4, Chapter 2, Daksha Yagya. One point mentioned in this verse is the Lord Shiva have a blue throat, have a blue mark in your throat. This is a very special symbol, mark of Lord Shiva, and is coming of a very, very famous pastime, probably one of the most important pastime in this universe, in this Lord Brahma days. What is this pastime? What is the pastime that Lord Shiva get your blue throat?
Poison.
Yes. What is this pastime?
That is the pastime of churning.
Yes. Churning of ocean milk, yes. Very nice. And for our benefit, I will remember this pastime now with you. Maharaj Parikshit was very eager to hear about the churning of the ocean, and therefore Shukadeva Goswami began to explain to him how the demigods having been cursed by Durvasa Muni. It's very interesting because Durvasa Muni is Atri Muni's son, and Atri Muni don't know who is God. And he, with your wife, make several penitences, austerities, and how he know who is the God. The 3 days, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, and Lord Vishnu appear in front of him. And from Lord Shiva, born a son called Durvasa Muni. The characteristic of Durvasa Muni, that he is a very irritable, very angry person because of the influence of Lord Shiva. And sometimes Durvasa Muni give great blessings to Vaishnavas, devotees, like was to Srimati Radharani, great cooking Srimati Radharani because of the blessing of Durvasa Muni, but sometimes Durvasa Muni put an impediments to devotees. Durvasa Muni were defeated in battle by the Asuras. When the demigods were deprived of their heavenly kingdom, they went to the assembly house of Lord Brahma and informed Lord Brahma of what had happened. Then Brahma, along with all the demigods, went to the shore of the ocean of milk and offered prayers to Kshirodaksha Vishnu. Yes, this is the standard. When the demigods have problems to management the universe, when the Asuras cause problems, the demigods go to Lord Brahma, the great god of this universe, and after they go to the Shweta-dvipa to offer praise to Kshirodaksha Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu solve all problems. How Durvasa Muni cursed the demigods or Lord Indra? This is very interesting, and Prabhupada narrates this in your purports. it is described that while Durvasa Muni was passing on the road, he saw Indra on the back of his elephant. How is the name of the elephant of Lord Indra? Airavata, yes. And what is the characteristic of the elephants? Elephants not are very culty or educated people, yes? He has very big animal, yes, very strong animal. He saw Indra on the back of his elephant and was pleased to offer Indra a garland from his own neck. Yes, take out a garland and give it to Indra. Indra, however, being too puffed up, took the garland and without respect for Durvasa Muni, he placed it on the trunk of his carrier elephant. Yes. The elephant, being an animal, could not understand the value of the garland, and thus the elephant threw the garland between its legs and smashed it. Seeing this insulting behavior, Durvasa Muni immediately cursed Indra to be poverty-stricken, bereft of all material opulence. Thus the demigods, afflicted on one side by the fighting demons and on the other by the curse of Durvasa Muni, lost all the material opulences and the three worlds. This next pastime is very interesting because the demigods stay very poor because of the arrogance of Indra. And a very, very special incarnation will come to help. What is this incarnation? Not is a very popular, not is an incarnation that we will speak a lot. Is the incarnation of Ajita. Ajita that is inconquerable. Yes, nobody can defeat this person, Ajita. And this pastime is so opulent, so strong that Ajita need to spend himself in more two forms. One form is very special, is the best incarnation of Vishnu. What is this incarnation? The best, more beautiful incarnation of Vishnu. No. Kurmadeva. Kurmadeva is the best incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Mohinimurti coming after, yes? When offered prayers by Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, the Supreme Person of Godhead was pleased. Thus, he gave appropriate instructions to all the demigods. The Supreme Person of Godhead, who is known as Ajita, unconquerable, advised the demigods to make a peace proposal to demons. Yes, very diplomacy. So that after formulating truce, the demigods and demons could churn the ocean of milk. The rope. Who was the rope? Yes, the big snake Vasuki, the serpent. The serpent Vasuki. Yes, very ugly. The hope will be the biggest serpent, known as Vasuki, and the churning rod would be Mandara Mountain. This Mandara Mountain is a mountain in celestial planets, and what is made this mountain? This is a mountain of gold, yes, like the color of Lord Shiva. And churning rod would the Mandara Mountain. Poison would also be produced from the churning, but it would be taken by Lord Shiva. This is very interesting because when you churning the cream, I remember this because my mother did butter for us sometimes, and you butter, you churning the cream. The first thing that go out is the veil soro do leite. The veil. Yes, after turn butter. But first need to go out the veil, and after turn butter. Become butter. And so there would be no need to fear it. Many other attractive things would be generated by the churning. They include the Aravat elephant coming from here. But the Lord warned the demigods not to be captivated by such things, nor should the demigods be angry if there were some disturbance. After advising the demigods in this way, the Lord disappeared from the scene. Following the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the demigods established a peace with Maharaj Bali, yes, the king of the demons. Then both the demons and demigods started for the ocean, taking Mandara mountain with them because of the great heaviness of the mountain. If I am not wrong, Bali Maharaj is a great son of Prahlada Maharaj. And after Indra is cursed by the Rasamuni, the demigods take the power, take the control of the universe, and kick out the Indra for very far away. Then both the demons and demigods started for the ocean, taking Mandara mountain with them because of the great heaviness of the mountain. The demigods and demons become fatigued. This is a very, very difficult pastime, yes, because they need churning the ocean milk. When they transport the Mandara mountain, this was very heavy, and the Mandara mountain smash many demigods and demons. But after Ajita give the life again today. Then and some of the actually died. Then the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, appeared there on the back of his carrier, Garuda. And by his mercy, he brought these demigods and demons back to life. The Lord then lifted the mountain with one of his hands and placed it on the back of Garuda. The Lord sat on the mountain and was carried to the top of the churning by Garuda, who placed the mountain near the sea. Then the Lord asked Garuda, yes, Garuda is very, very powerful. Then the Lord asked Garuda to leave that place because he eats snakes. Garuda is an enemy of the snakes, and Vasuki have a fear of Garuda. It's very fun. Then the Lord asked Garuda to leave that place because as long as Garuda was present, Vasuk could not come there. With the understanding that when the nectar was generated from the churning, they would share it equally. The demigods and demons brought Vasuki to be used as the rope for the churning rod. By the expert arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the demons held the snake near the mount, whereas the demigods held the tail of the great snake. Then, this is very fun also, then with great endeavor they began pulling the snake in both directions. Because the churning rod, Mandara mountain, was very heavy and was not held by any support in the water, it sank into the ocean, and it is way the prowess of the both of demons and demigods was vanquished. This is the best part of the pastime. The Supreme Personality of Godhead then appeared in the form of a tortoise and supported Mandara mountain on his back. Then the churning resumed with great force. As a result of the churning, a huge amount of poison was produced. The Prajapatis, saying no one else to save them, approached Lord Shiva and offered him prayers full of truth. Lord Shiva is called Ashutosha because he is very pleased if one is a devotee. Therefore, he easily agreed to drink all the poison generated by the churning. The goddess Durga, Bhavani, the wife of Lord Shiva, was not at all disturbed when the Lord Shiva agreed to drink the poison, for she knew Lord Shiva's prowess. Indeed, she expressed her pleasure at this agreement. Then Lord Shiva gave her the devastating poison, which was everywhere. He took it in his hand and drank it. After he drank the poison, his neck became bluish. A small quantity of the poison dropped from his hands to the ground, and it's because of the poison that there are poisonous snakes, scorpions, toxic plants, and other poisonous things in this world. I think many people drink this poison. Okay, this is, I will read to you the session, the part of the conversation between Shiva and Bhavani. This is a very beautiful passage in the Srimad Bhagavatam, because teaches us about the personality of Vaishnava. What is the characteristic of the Vaishnava? Vaishnava is Paradukha Dukhi. He don't suffer, but he feels suffer with the suffering of others. And because this is Vaishnava is a very merciful. And Lord Shiva illustrate on this conversation the personality of Vaishnava. Vaishnava not is a sectarian, not pertence an institutional religion, but a great saint, great Vaishnava, a saintly person, have these qualities in this conversation is very sweetness. No, not moment. Shri Shiva Uvacha Ahobata Bhavani Tat Prajanam Pashavai Shasan Shiroda Matanu Bhutat Kalakutad Upastitan. Lord Shiva said, "My dear Bhavani, just see how all these living entities have been placed in danger because of the poison produced from the churning of the ocean milk." Bhagavatam, Canto 8, chapter 7, verse 37, and the sequence. It is my duty to give protection and safety to all living entities struggling for existence. Certainly, it is the duty of the master to protect his suffering dependents. Pranai swai pranina panti sadava kshana bangurai bada vaireshu bhuteshu mohiteshu atma mayaya. People in general, being bewildered by the illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are always engaged in animosity toward one another. And this is very marked, very sensible characteristic of material world, animosity toward one another. But the devotees, even at the risk of their own temporary lives, yes, they can be defeated, they can death by these materialist peoples, try to save them. My dear gentle wife Bhavani, when one performs benevolent activities for others, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is very pleased. And when the Lord is pleased, I am also pleased, along with all other living creatures. Therefore, let me drink this poison, for all the living entities may thus become happy because of me. Srila Shukadeva Goswami continued, after informing Bhavani in this way, Lord Shiva began to drink the poison, and Bhavani, who knew perfectly well the capabilities of Lord Shiva, gave him her permission to do so. Thereafter, Lord Shiva, who is dedicated to auspicious, benevolent work for humanity, compassionately took the holy quantity of poison in his paws and drank it. As if in defamation, the poison born from the ocean of milk manifested its potency by marking Lord Shiva's neck with a bluish line. Yes, because these all pictures, all illustration by Lord Shiva, fidedigne, bona fide illustration, have Lord Shiva with a blue mark on Trug, because this moment, this is a special moment on these Brahma days. That line, however, is now accepted as an ornament of Lord Shiva. Is now accepted as an ornament of Lord Shiva. Last verse. Tapyante lokata apena sadhava prayashodjana paramar dhanantadhi dhi purushasya kilatmanaha. It said that the great personalities almost always accept voluntary suffering because of the suffering of people in general. This is considered the highest method of worshipping the Supreme Person of Godhead. Yes, the saintly person, who is present in everyone's heart. Okay? I finish here. If one have any commentary or question, but remember, my ear is very, very bad to understand English. If you can talk very slowly, yes, and with short words is better to me. Yes.
Can you please talk more about your last comment about the highest characteristic of a saintly person? And you said as well that they do not suffer themselves, but they suffer.
Yeah. This is
exposed with the suffering of other people.
This is a famous concept. This is a very concise concept about the saintly person. Who is saintly person? Saintly person not pertains to this religion or that religion. This is universal. The Srimad Bhagavatam is universal, not is particular or, how Prabhupada said, sectarian. This is science is universal. Necessary, very necessary and universal. This is science, because this Bhagavatam is a science. Para, dukkha, dukkhi. Para means transcendental, beyond of the darkness. Dukkha, dukkhi. Para, dukkha means that the saintly person is transcendental, are beyond of all suffering. He not suffering. These are there are 6 qualities of a person that get bhakti. One, this is kleshagni. The kleshas, the suffering, not more get the saintly person, the devotee, the bhakta.
No suffering.
No suffering. Yes. Para dukkha. But he have a dukkha, a suffering. The saintly person, the devotee, the Vaishnava, suffering when see the another persons suffering in the world because of your food, because of your ignorance, because of the persons thinking, I am the body, this is my country, this is my wife, this is my car, this is my home. Because of the bodily conception, the ignorance, avidya, the persons are suffering. And the only remedy to cure this suffering is knowledge. And knowledge means knowledge about the soul. Purusha and Prakriti. The persons, the soul are embodied on the material body and forget that we are the eternal souls, eternal servant of Krishna. Knowledge means I am a spiritual soul, and like a spiritual soul, I am eternal servant of Krishna. This will bring all happy, all ananda for the soul. But if we thinking that I'm the body, I'm this, I'm that, I'm a woman, I'm man, I'm a Christian, I'm Jewish, I'm black, I'm white, I'm heterosexual, I'm homosexual. These conceptions, these false, these fake conceptions, illusions, will bring suffering for the soul. Okay? And when the saintly persons see this suffering because of ignorance, he have a very, very strong desire to move to change this. This is the emblem, this is the sign of the saintly person. The suffering of the other people's they move him to annihilate the suffering of the persons. And the only thing to defeat the suffering is Krishna consciousness. This sound like sectarian, only Krishna consciousness, only Krishna consciousness. But the Krishna consciousness is the pure consciousness, is the real consciousness of the soul. Okay? Maha Krishna Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Go Premanande, Shri Damodara Massa ki, Shri Damodara Prasad ki.
Maha Krishna Prabhu ki jai.
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Never live for herself, just for another. And Guru Maharaj said that the Vaishnava has all the biblical qualities, but one extra quality, exclusive. It is love for Supreme Personality. Is love for the love and devotion for the Supreme Personality. This is the pearl of the Vaishnava, because again, a yogi can develop the 8 burning profile, can be transcendental. But if you have it all parts, if you have a transcendental to larger tamas in Sata, but if you don't have a bhakti, Krishna devotion, it's not it's just technical information. No, this is real.
very interesting.
One, the devotional service bring all finish immediately all kinds of affliction, material affliction.
So no material affliction.
Yeah.
Material affliction. Exactly.
Creation, two kinds of creation. Material affliction. My mind, yes. Oh, and my brother, mind reflection.
So mind
Reflections caused by another, like even like the mosquito, and have a certain pressure by the weather. Too much snow, too much cold, too much rain, just wind. Yeah. The devotional service is beginning of all good perspectives. The devotional service touching us in constantly causing the happiness. For the devotional service is a very to get very, very difficult to get. Yeah, very, very difficult to get. Very hurry. No, hurry. R-A-R-E. Yeah. Very, very good to get. The people that get devotional service make jokes with the conception of the impersonalization. Make a joke with him. And devotional service, pure devotional service is the only way to attract the Krishna.
personal devotion.
Even this is Sanskrit verse from Maha Krishna, and here is the English.
Quem esquece isso de lugar, dizer que na França está tendo recorde de temperatura para essa época, está tudo 2, 3 graus a mais.